Hi, welcome to the ArthurColaBooks.com presentation for the Dublin Irish Fest in Ohio. Though we have to do it virtually this year, we do look forward to seeing you in the future. My name is Arthur Cola, and I would like to introduce you to my new trilogy, the Doonagore Theft Trilogy. But first, I'd like to thank my grandsons, Connor Smith, who is putting together this video, and my other grandson, Riley Smith, who will be narrating from each of the three novels a short excerpt. My three books will take you to the devastated Ireland of the mid-1800s, when the potato famine was running rampant, commonly called the Great Hunger. You will experience their life adventures as their families seek a future for them, a future of hope, in a land of gold and opportunity they heard about across the Atlantic Ocean. You will see how their friendship grows as these families introduce their three children to this new hope of theirs. James Shields, Angus O'Flaherty, and Megan O'Grady, their lives would become entangled in a triangle of friendship and something more. You will see a vocation to the priesthood tested. Boys start to become men, prejudice presents itself in a violent manner, and love binds friend to friend, man to woman, and brother to brother. There will be riots in the streets, protests against people of a different faith, political unrest against immigrants, struggles for freedom and equality, and confronting evil. All of which we read today, every day in our newspapers, but this is 19th century America. And we begin our adventure with the first novel, Journey of Three Pure Hearts. In its pages, you will be introduced to my main characters, James Shields, whose mother has promoted a vocation to the priesthood with the hopes of getting him out of Ireland and to the land of America. And then you will meet Angus O'Flaherty, whose family is a fishing family from the Aran Islands. James rescues them as they are out on the Atlantic Ocean and almost hit rocks off the Bishop's Point, where priests were once held captive. They were to become great friends. Down the coast in County Clare in Doolin, there is a castle called the Doonagore Castle, right here. It was once owned in my story by the O'Grady family, and who have since lost it because of restrictions on what Catholics could own and tax problems. Megan O'Flaherty's family seeks a new life for her in America as well. And the three of them meet on a ship called the Cushla McCree. Now you're going to hear a little bit about their adventures on that ship, but the night before, as they record their feelings and their experiences as they board that ship for the land where it was thought the streets were paved with gold. Riley, take it away.
July 28, 1849. Then he began to write his heart out. Never had I seen such a sea, even from the fortress ruins. The waves came upon us like a great waterfall, cascading down the slopes on Inchbach. But I didn't have time to think of my Da's discovery in those waters. I was fearing that before I became a man, I, along with Father O'Malley, Captain O'Flaherty and his sons, would be drowned. Then the good Lord caused the storm to cross over us as quickly as it came upon us. Into Galway harbour we sailed with a hold half full of fish for selling. The youngest son of the captain, Angus, told Father O'Malley and then me of his desire to come to America with us. It will be a good thing, I think, to have someone who has become like a brother to me. No, even more than that. He is a friend too, someone I can talk to about manly things, some of those things that the good Father is too holy to hear about. We got off the Yogonaut. Father O'Malley and I began walking to St. Augustine Church, where we were to meet others of his order and the captain and his sons. On the way I met this girl, a pretty one she is, with long fire-red hair and bright green eyes so as to pierce your heart. I didn't know her name, we weren't properly introduced, but she took pity on me. To the poor wretches in the park, she was handing out morsels of food. She called them cookies. Our hands touched when she offered one to me. I didn't have a chance to thank her when Father came to me and a woman came for her. But she looked at me from the hotel steps. I froze, not knowing what to do, so I bit the cookie and she smiled and then was gone. The cookie was sweet and I enjoyed the taste. Later, at St. Nicholas Church, I met her by chance as I visited where Columbus had prayed. Finally, I know her name. It's Megan. A lovely name, to be sure. Tonight, I had another taste, never before having encountered. It's called jam. The friar from Rome, Father Anthony, brought it from Italy. I think one day I'd like to visit this place, with such wondrous foods like jam, pasta, and fruits of all kinds. Also this night I met the captain's wife and brother. She kissed me like my mother did when I left Ishnishbafen. I almost cried but held it in as she reminded me of my mom. But she was a stranger, and I think I didn't welcome it as she would have appreciated. I'll do better tomorrow and thank her for her kindness, just as I did to Angus this night. He helped me to understand what this growing of manly parts was all about. I think I'll like being a priest. The friars seemed so kind and holy when they sang the hymn called Te Deum. And all present thought we were at the gates of heaven. Father Francis let me take the book he called the Divine Office back to my room, so I can pray Compline, the night prayer. I'm writing down the Te Deum prayer so I won't forget to pray it when we sail tomorrow. May our Lord be with us on our journey to America, where I can tell everyone that I'm going to become a priest without fear. James breathed over the writing as there was no blotter on the desk. He reread his words and then closed the journal as if it was a holy book. Taking the Divine Office, he got into a bed which not only had a mattress, but also a feather pillow. He began to pray the opening psalm prayer. God, come to my assistance. Lord, make haste to help me. He drifted off to sleep after a day of being tossed about at sea, exposed to the ravages of the blight and discovering girls and his developing manhood. The candle served witness to his slumber until it too was exhausted, having given light to his words and night prayer.
In Book 2, Pure and Tarnish Hearts, our journey continues. This time, you will meet them as they get off that ship called the Cushla-McCree in New York City. These three young people are going to be taken to Little Ireland, called Mulberry Street, in Manhattan, in New York City. They're on their way to St. Patrick's Cathedral, not the one we know on Fifth Avenue, but the original one on Mott Street and Prince Street, in what is now called Little Italy. When they get there, they will meet a variety of people in this Mulberry Street community. People who have fond memories of their homeland, but who are trying to make a living in this new land of America. A land where there's a lot of struggles with becoming acclimated to American culture. But through the help of a bishop, a nightclub owner, and three high society girls from New York City, they become accepted in the community of Little Ireland. They meet a bunch of young thugs, Irish tough lads, on Mulberry Street, and they begin to sing songs of their ancestors across the sea. That is the seed that begins them becoming what is called the Celtic Warriors in my story, a singing group. They would take the songs of Ireland and of America up and down the east coast of the country, introducing people to the music of Ireland. They would become a 19th century music sensation. But here is when they first meet those boys on Mulberry Street, and here they become the Celtic warriors. Our struggles continue and triumphs as well, and they come to a climax in Book 3, Torn and United Hearts. Here, Angus, James, and Megan and their friends in the Celtic Warriors have become so popular that they are being invited to Washington, D.C. to sing for President Zachary Taylor. Their adventures in pre-Civil War America will tickle your funny bone, touch your heart, make you laugh a little when they deal with their sexuality, and also raise a little outrage as they rescue a fugitive slave who's on the run from a southern plantation seeking freedom. In that rescue, they become involved with Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, and the adventure continues as they try to bring their new friend, Jeff, a fugitive slave from Fair Oaks Plantation, to freedom. In this final chapter, The Lives of the Celtic Warriors, you will see a vision of America developing just as it is today, but this time with Irish immigrants, Italian immigrant, a high society New York City girls, and Southern boys, one white and one black, as they become bound to one another by faith in their Creator, hope in America, and love for each other, and those principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We return to the journal that they have been keeping since the days of their ship sailing. A journal which records their feelings just as they enter Washington, D.C. and prepare to present before the President of the United States. I hope that this insight into my tales of the Irish experience in coming to America has been of interest. You may find them at Amazon.com and feedread.com. And next year I hope to see you in person at the Dublin Irish Fest 2021, where I will introduce my new murder mystery series, which I hope you will take an interest in. Goodbye for now. See you next year.